Okay, ready for our next session? We are 2 sessions away from a nice dinner. So we have Chris and Larry are going to talk about what you should have on your website. And speaking of dinner, allegedly Larry may have stole a fork from the Continental last night, but we'll talk about that later.
All right,
Take it away, guys.
It's not proven.
Ignominious introduction. I don't know what it was, but it was good. It was nice. I hope everyone's having a good time at the RunSignup symposium. How about a round of applause for yourselves for getting through this first day? You're doing an awesome job. My name is Chris Newcomer. I'm the sales representative. My focus is on peer-to-peer fundraising events, working with our nonprofit and for-profit customers who do these kinds of events. So if you have questions about that, seek me out. I'm happy to talk about those things. With me, we've got Larry Miner. Say hello,
Hi.
Larry.
I have half the energy of Chris, but I'm Larry.
You can come closer. I don't bite.
Well,
It's all good. It's all good.
Close.
So Larry and I are going to talk to you about key components of your event website. And on today's agenda, we're going to go over some website basics, some branding, custom content, cover pages, domains, and standalone websites. And to kick us off, we've got Lawrence Miner. So there you go, Larry. Well done. Go for it.
Thanks, Chris. As always, we do just want to remind you that if you have questions after this or even tomorrow that maybe you want to talk with us further about and have more of a hands-on, we are in the demo room. So today, of course, until 5 p.m. And then we're back in there tomorrow from 10:30 to 2:15. So stop by, pick our brains. If there's any website questions or really, any questions that you have, we can, if we don't have it, we can, of course, direct you to the right resource. So we're going to kick it off with some website basics. So what is a race website? Of course, this is going to be the primary place where your participants are going to find out details about your event. You're going to be able to encourage them to come there and register, to donate. And of course, all of this is done in the initial setups of the Race Wizard. So that's when a lot of the basic information about your race website is going to be collected. So things like the address, the events, the pricing, registration period, things like that. Some ways that we have to kind of enhance that for you is focusing on things like branding. So having a custom logo for that, looking at some colors, also adding content. So we give you the ability to add unlimited content. Alongside that, being able to organize that content. So using our menu and sub-menu options. And then, of course, just trying to make sure your website looks professional. So as you might recognize with other websites you've been to, there's generally a pretty standard logo. Upper in the left-hand corner, there's a menu with things like frequently asked questions, help guides, things like that that are really key to include in your website. So what do you get with a website with RunSignup? So you get a lot. Some of the basics, of course, you get a professional website. One of the things I really like, your brand first. So unlike things like Facebook, Google, YouTube, what have you, you're always getting all these pop-up ads that are really distracting you from, the material that you have there. You'll receive none of that when creating a website with us. Easy to customize. There's a lot of functionality in there. Some of the call to action buttons, I like to use those a lot. So again, to, either redirect if you have like a custom URL to another site that you want your participants to go to as well, or another event that you're working with. Participant lookup's great, registration management. And then results and photos are great, sort of like post-race to get your participants back over and re-engage with your website after maybe the race has concluded. But wait, there's more. Some other features that we offer, search engine optimization. So SEO, obviously really important with making sure that your race shows up highly in search results, mobile responsiveness, built-in analytics. So really just being able to compare how your event is tracking year to year. So whether that be, 2 weeks out, 1 week out, a same day, just to kind of have an idea how you're doing. High availability, it's data-driven. And of course, we are PCI and CCPA compliant. So all good things. So here are a few examples of some websites that were created on RunSignup. So some are using the cover page feature. They all, of course, have, like I said, a nice menu across the top, branded logo in the upper corner, showcasing the events. So actually having those in there in the event tiles. The event over here on the left is actually showing what's included in your registration, as well as what your prizes are. So your medal. The event on the far side there is actually using the video capability, so embedding maybe a YouTube video in that cover page as well. And then you have a nice turkey trot here in the middle. Something to consider when setting up your website, of course, is just you want to choose a color scheme that's pretty complementary of your banner image. So I think they do a really nice job. I mean, that has a very fall feel. You can almost smell pumpkin spice looking at that. So, I mean, just trying to make sure that everything flows nicely like that. And getting into website branding. So one of the first options you're going to have within branding your website is choosing the orientation of the menu. So you can either do a horizontal or a vertical layout. You can choose your, like I said, design and layout elements, including these social media links and taglines. You can add things in such as a countdown, which we can look at later in the cover page section. Something I like to do that's actually under the design and layout, if you have a banner image that you're using that's sort of customized and you're not going to be utilizing that cover page functionality, you could actually change it to an alternative layout. So you don't actually have that overlay over the image. So your race name and whatnot, it'll actually move that up and it'll really display that image nicely. And then you can also use in the event display, drop it down to the list. So that'll shrink that tile and make it more horizontal. So I've seen a lot of events that get set up and they have either a group photo and things like that, and has the race name overlaid and it kind of covers that up. So I think this is a great way to kind of move past that. What's that? So right here, the no shadow, how's that possible? Alternative layout. So it's going to move everything up. And then again, this just kind of goes along with that same concept. So it just stretches out the event tile. Again, looking at color schemes. So we give you some default color schemes that you can pick from. Something that I recommend if you're comfortable with it is creating your own custom color scheme. Again, something that's complementary of either your race logo or your banner image. You can easily go in and grab those hex codes and create a really nice color scheme that's complementary of your event. Something that we recommend, of course, is if you do that, kind of go through, check out all your pages and make sure everything looks nice. You don't want to be in a situation where you've chosen some bright colors and you have a bright yellow background and white font, and it just doesn't it's not really able to be legible. So just kind of go through, make sure go through all your pages and make sure everything looks good. Again, finding a good logo. So generally a square logo works really well when setting up logos. We try to recommend that you actually stick with a consistent logo. So again, with branding, if you think of any brands that you're familiar with, their logos are fairly consistent, especially if you're having an event year after year. Things like Facebook and Google are going to cache the logo from the year before. So if you go and change it up this year, it's going to take some time for that logo to get updated on sites like that. So sticking with a logo that's pretty similar to the year after year. And then you can always add things, like if it's an anniversary event or something, you can add a banner or make it a little bit special, but wouldn't recommend changing that every year. Again, with the theme of the banner image, this is something that would not be, if you use the cover page function, this is going to be overridden, but you can still have a banner image just in the default website. And like I said, if you do decide to use the cover page function as well, the banner image is still going to be used in things like the email marketing and whatnot. So still a good opportunity to have a few different options as far as images go. And then some branding tools. So no, we're not all very good at design. I'm terrible at it. So some websites that we've found to be really helpful are Canva and coolers.co. You can check those out if you have, I think Chris does a way better job with.
I love Canva. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get on there and it doesn't really look that great. So you can check those out. Really great for just designing logos and banner images. So looking at some custom content next, creating custom content, again, this is going to be, I find that a lot of races generally try to pack in all of their information in the race description. And it's not always a great idea because most of the time your participants are going to look at that and it's just going to be too overwhelming. So creating custom sections for things such as, packet pickup, course map, any information that should be kind of separated in its own. Of course, you have the ability to kind of organize this how you see fit. So just a good use of that custom content. Again, you can add as much of that as you like. Here's an example of some custom content. So it has a section heading. This is actually a coupon code that is going to be sent out in a registration confirmation email. So you can also set those up as well so that the content's not just going to be displayed on the registration page. It'll actually go out. So when someone registers, they're going to get this confirmation email and receive a nice 5% off a bag of coffee. Again, looking at custom content, it's on the race info page by default. And you can also set up submenus. A pro tip, before you set up something as a submenu, you want to save it as a main menu first so that you can kind of have those all laid out, and then you can reorganize them and just go through each of those sections. Display on confirmation email, like we were saying. So some of this information, depending on how you have it organized, won't always show up. It doesn't have to be included on those confirmation emails. You have the ability to make those, adjust those settings. And then, is this my slide?
That's your slide, yeah.
Oh, of course it is. Looking more into like the sub menus. So you have that ability as well. Like we were saying, organizing your menus and sub menus. So things like this, race details would be a great place to put things like frequently asked questions, rules, no club, things like that, that are more relevant to that main menu item. And again, organizing the menu. So you have the ability to drag and drop. In this example, they do show a refund policy that we, by default, add to every registration page. You can hide the policy that we set up, and actually this event decided to create their own refund policy, which they've included under the race info tab. So again, if you clicked race info, you'll have a drop down and you can look at any of these sub menu items. Of course, you can hide them if they're not relevant any longer, or if you need to move them around based on prioritizing those different menu items.
Awesome.
That's your page.
Thanks, Larry. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cover pages. I know a lot of folks here probably are familiar, but if you're not, we're going to dive a little deeper. So a cover page replaces the homepage you have to spotlight the key goals for your event. So you've probably seen a simple landing page, which has the event tiles, the event info, and a sign up, and possibly a donate button. But with the cover pages, they're mobile optimized landing page. They've got customizable headers and content. They can be fully branded, even more so for your race than just the simple site. You can drive action with custom buttons to direct people to registration, to donate, to a website that is off of RunSignup. You can include things like a countdown clock, donation goal thermometer, and can show off top fundraisers. To enable the cover page, you go to race website, cover page, and push enable cover page. I'm going to give you $5 if you count how many times I say cover page in this presentation. Don't hold me to that. You can turn the cover page off and on from here as well and see what your cover page looks like at any time. I have a habit of looking every single time I make a change, and so I then will have like a million tabs of just the front page. But I'm not here to manage your tabs. I'm here to talk to you about the cover page. So let's look at the anatomy of a race website with a cover page. If you look on the upper left-hand side, you've got the branded logo. To the right, what Larry was just talking about, we've got your custom content in the menu and sub-menu where you're able to decide, hey, what's going to appear at this top menu level, what you want to give the most attention to, and what maybe can live under one of those sub-menus. You can also include your great header photo from your event that you get to decide on. One of our data components, of course, is the event tiles. We want to make sure people know where they're able to sign up and register for the race. Another data component I mentioned is that donation goal thermometer. So people who are participating, this is especially great for peer-to-peer fundraising events or donation events. So people can see how close you are to the goal and see how they can help out to get you even closer. We also have a great countdown clock. So people can, as they're signing up, see how close the event is. This is also good. So say if you're doing like a virtual event leading up to a in-person event, the countdown clock is great for that. They know, hey, I've got 2 weeks to fundraise this much money, and this is when the fundraising ends. So countdown clock is really, really fantastic. And then the other thing we've got, which I think is awesome, if you've got like a video on YouTube of someone saying something great about your race or about your organization, you're able to bring that YouTube video ID over, and that video will embed right on the cover page. If you click on it, it pops out, people stay on your race page, watch the video that tells them why they should sign up, and then they can sign up right there. It does need to be clicked on to play. There isn't currently an automatic video at the moment, but that's a good thing that we can let our developers know is there is interest in that, for sure. Thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you create a cover page header banner. So the header banner is the first thing you would add to a cover page, and you have a lot of different options. One option we've seen is folks who want to create their own full banner with its own text built into it, which you can do that. You can go into the cover page and then you can say, I don't want to crop this and I don't want to have an overlay image. I just want the exact image that's the right size to appear, which a lot of people do. That's why I use Canva a lot, because it allows me to get the great size of that perfect banner image that I've designed. Or you can also use our great rotating slideshow. So you can have one banner that says, hey, sign up for our race. And the next one can say, and here's where you can donate. And then I can slide one more and they can say, hey, here you can go back to our organization's website. And the beautiful thing about this, beautiful, you can tell I'm from Philadelphia. The beautiful thing about this is that you can swap, edit, and customize all of these different banners as you wish. And that's the great thing about RunSignup too. You want to make a change, it's 3 in the morning, you can go do it. It's a wonderful thing. So creating content, we've got options for multiple rotating banners. We also have a variety of content options sort of for the sizing. You can do like a full width kind of box. You can do 2 columns. You can do, as I mentioned, the countdown clock, custom actions, that video I mentioned. But all these things, the race theme that you chose earlier, as Larry was telling us about, gets applied to those boxes that you've created. And we've also got dynamic content for data. So that's sort of where it's pulling from all the information of, say, all the top fundraisers and the top team fundraisers. If you set that content block up, it'll appear right on the cover page and will be updated in real time, which is really cool to see. Here's some of the custom action buttons you can add to your cover page. You can add race info, which takes you back to that sort of simpler race page, which is your original landing page. You can do results, the donate button. You can, the volunteers, if you've got a volunteer sign up going on. You can do registration or a custom URL that takes them to a website that is not on the RunSignup page. And here's some other data components you can pull. You can connect to your social media, which I think is so important, getting people to share your event through their own spheres of influence on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, if you're like me and you lived 10 years ago. No, I don't believe we have an integration with MySpace, unfortunately. But we do have event tiles that you can show in that dynamic data option as well, which is important for the signing up. You can show your sponsors that you've uploaded into that sponsor portal. The top fundraisers, which I was mentioning. Here's one thing I really want to point out. So the virtual race distance or tally total. So if any of you have done any challenges, which we love, we think those are so cool, you can show that the distance to your total goal, say you're trying to run across America or a certain amount of miles, you can show that how far your runners have gotten in that goal. And of course, that donation goal thermometer I was mentioning. And while these people are on your race website, on your cover page, looking at all those beautiful things you've created, you can also turn on the email capture form. So if they're maybe on the fence, this little guy will come up and say, hey, are you thinking about coming to our Vancouver trail run? Put some more information here and we can get in contact with you and collect your information that way. So it's a perfect way to capture participant info and tell them why they should do your race. Did I see a hand back there? It doesn't directly to club pages at the moment, but you can use that sort of custom URL can be used in that way to direct it to club pages. Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about website domains. You can add your domain or subdomain as one of our, Matt Sinclair, who I'm sure you all have talked to or heard about at one point or another, has his great Vancouver trail run he uses as an example. So if you go to vancouvertrailrun.com, that will direct you to his race site. But if you wanted to do a subdomain, it would say, I'm saying this right, race.vancouvertrailrun.com, right?
Yep. Race, reg, run.
Yeah, whatever you want it to be. You can make that subdomain point as well. And so a little bit, we'll do a brief talk on the domain setup process. We have a really great step-by-step walkthrough on one of our learning guides, but this is just to show you some of the key points of it. So step one is to get access to your domain, get your own domain or log into your domain manager. You have to prove ownership by setting TXT records, and then RunSignup will get an SSL certificate for your domain. And then step three is pointing your domain to your RunSignup site. So you set the A record and the CNAME record. And once again, there is a great step-by-step walkthrough on that because it is one of the, it's a little complicated, but it's not too impossible. But why would you want to bring over your own domain? Well, here are a couple reasons. So if you already have an established known website and you don't want to confuse any loyal participants who are always going to go to vancouvertrailrun.com, you want to make sure that it points right there. Or if you want to build brand equity and independence from our brand, so you don't want to have people coming to RunSignup, but you want them to feel like they're still on your website. If you're hosting an event that isn't a run and don't want a URL that includes run or race or paddle or try, or if you want to provide legitimacy to a registration website linked from an existing website. So that would be also sort of that subdomain category. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a very, very new offering, the standalone websites. So our organization websites provide an organization with standalone generic website capability. And you can think of this as like a hub website for having multiple sub websites for each event that your organization puts on. And creating a website is really easy. You just go to runsignup.com/organization website/new. That also works for TicketSignup.io or GiveSignup.org. And then you can step through the wizard like every other wizard on our platform. These sites, though, are only available for customers who have payment accounts with us. So they're not free without having a payment account set up. So you can see sort of the site map of this. The organization website is sort of where everything is held, and then you can have your 5K series there, your fundraising gala, your golf outing website, your pumpkin patch website, all those different spots you can get to on that site. And it's free, which includes hosting, SSL, unlimited pages, not just a single event page, which is great. And like all of our products, it features your brand, not ours. It's free of any third-party ads. We're not advertising any other 5Ks or pumpkin patch events on your site. It's easy to add content and images, and it looks good on desktop and mobile, and it's easy to customize the theme. It's also easy to add buttons and links to your other events. So what's coming next for these things is our first dynamic component, a calendar that pulls all events from your organization, be it a ticket event, a race, what have you, all in one spot, which is very exciting. And then more dynamic components to allow organization emails to easily replace partner websites. So that is our time for today. We were talking about the different components. Does anybody have any other questions or any other thoughts they want to ask while we're up here? And if not, you can always find us or anybody in the demo room. We're also down the hall. Happy to take questions there as well. Yes.
I have website at alone. I want to transfer to RunSignup. That website is in WordPress. How is it to get everything transferred to RunSignup?
So it would be sort of a process of copying and pasting, I would imagine. What do you think, Bruce? Do you think that would be a similar kind of?
Yeah, you're going to take the components, like your visual components, and bring them over and match the components that we have on our site to what's similar in WordPress, but there's not going to be an import from WordPress into ours.
So
it's a rebuild. Page by page rebuild on RunSignup.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
The social media integration.
Yeah.
Are they going to include Instagram?
I don't believe at the moment we're including Instagram, but I could be wrong. Not yet.
Not in the plan at the moment, but that's why we're here, to get your input.
Well, we've got the call now, and we will pass that along.
Do you like to just the link to your Instagram, like a little icon or something?
You want to see the content from Instagram on your side.
Yeah, scroll.
Yeah, I could see that as a component. Yeah, I could see that as a component we build. Currently, we don't, but I understand what you're saying. That would be a component that we would build. And we got lots of components on the docket that we want to build. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Question.
Okay, well then now Larry's going to tap dance for us
I
while
think
we, oh
someone
no,
did.
is that not? What's
Yeah.
that? Okay, well then. We're going to what? All right, well then I think that is probably it for us. We thank you so much for coming out to our session. And I hope you have a great rest of your symposium.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, guys. Next session is at 4:15. So we got a little bit of a break.